So hello, everybody. My name is Anna Burica, and I am the co-founder at Terry the Guardian. What I have a pleasure to do right now is to share a story with you, to share some experience with you, and to show how it was to be an international winner of Creative Business Cup a year ago almost. So we've done a lot, definitely. There's been a lot going on with the product itself, with our company that has grown a bit since then, which is absolutely amazing for us and for our product of course. And all of that has been influenced definitely by being a part of Creative Business Cup and being a part of a community that is creating all of the creative parts in the creative industry, which absolutely is something that I have experienced for the first time in Copenhagen last year. Usually when we attend conferences or competitions, or when we apply for any kind of awards or grants, it usually looks more or less the same, which I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell, but it really does. This was a completely different experience for me as a person that came to Copenhagen, bringing Teddy the Guardian with me and walking around the street with a plush teddy bear in my hand. But somehow everybody understood what the point of it is, and that was probably the most creative experience that I've ever had, bringing Teddy to an event such Creative Business Cup is. Just to put it in short, Teddy the Guardian is a plush teddy bear with embedded medical sensors that seamlessly, during the play with children, track vital signs. So for now, we are talking about heart rate, saturation of blood with oxygen, and the body temperature. And that data is collected by the touch sensors that are placed in Teddy's paws. And once the child holds Teddy by the paw for 5 to 7 seconds, the data is transmitted to the mobile app of the parents and pediatricians in the real time. What that helps us do is to decrease stress levels children go through each and every time they enter hospital, on the one hand. And on the other, it helps us prove the point in which we are trying to come up with the product that is that children are absolutely familiar with on the one hand, but on the other, it really does have a medical value. It can be placed in hospitals, because if a kid takes Teddy and hugs it for 30 seconds, for example, and you get the data that is not skewed because kids are under stress, then we have achieved a lot. And we are definitely in the progress, trying to build a product that fits hospitals, but again, fits the consumers as well. Currently, we are preparing a Christmas event where first 50 to 100 teddies will go to the best hospitals around the world. So we are discussing that and planning that with hospitals in New York, San Francisco, London, and potentially Hong Kong as well. This will be donated. So the first teddies, the first ones that really will be as we want them to be as ready as we want them to be, and be capable of delivering all that we have promised to our consumers, firstly hospitals, and then B2C market as well. Currently, we have 16 people in our team, from engineers, developers, marketers, product people, sales people. We have an amazing advisory board, and we're more or less a small team if you take into consideration that we deliver hardware and software. But we are a very compact team that really knows what it's doing, and that each and every participant in the team and each and every team member knows what their role here is, and what is the goal in this entire process that has been going on for the past year and a half, I can say. So working on Teddy is complex. Teddy as a product is complex, and we have learned that pretty quickly. But we definitely want to make it right, and we want to deliver the product that we really see as a perfect fit for the niche market that we have found, or that the product like Teddy the Guardian has created. When I say that the Creative Business Club, for example, is a perfect experience for members of the creative industries, I say that being aware that walking with a plush toy that apparently has a purpose was the most common experience in Copenhagen that I've ever had. And meeting the people from 30, 40, 50 countries, national winners, bringing their creativity all together to Copenhagen and spending 2 or 3 days exchanging experiences, showing what the challenges are. It's amazing to see that each and every country, if you observe that as isolated, has their own challenges that they need to overcome in order to either place a product on the market or really build a profitable company, which, I mean, everybody has a goal. Startup is just the step one towards the profitable business. And this is something that you can feel and see more intensively among the people that are participants of the creative industries, because they have extraordinary products. There's a lot of hardware there, which is absolutely amazing from our side, because more or less competitions that we attend, or gatherings, conferences, events that we attend, are more or less combined of software products, apps, and very little hardware. And to be a part of the community for a few days that actually loves hardware and that are aware of what it means to create and bring into the real world the physical product is something that was at that point a completely new world for me as a participant or the national winner. And what I learned from the Creative Business Cup, and what is absolutely the most valuable that I brought home, was how to observe each and every aspect of your business from the creative point of view. If you asked me a year ago if I see Teddy the Guardian as a creative product, I'm not sure that that will be 100% positive answer, because we are not used to looking at product like this from the creative perspective. And this is what helps tremendously, definitely. And this is what makes creativity is not only about fashion and design and creating products. Creativity is something that definitely helps in your everyday life, in operative business, in trying to find solutions to the challenges that you are facing every day. And if you have a creative point of view on that, and if you learn how to think in a creative way, that absolutely helps overcome each and every challenge that you are facing on a daily basis. And this is something that I would definitely send as a message to each and every contestant of the Creative Business Cup 2014, and each and every, which means again, and each and every national winner, and each and every entrepreneur out there, because I think that we underestimate the power of creativity, and that we tend to put creativity as something that is a very straightforward and very narrow, which definitely is not the case. Even if you do not, for example, are directly involved in creative industries themselves, creativity is something that helps you overcome the obstacles to success, because you need to be, as an entrepreneur, you definitely need to be creative, because nothing is the way you thought it was, or it should be. Nothing is as everybody says it is. So be creative and try to find your own way towards success. And from our point of view, creativity helped us understand that Teddy the Guardian is definitely our flagship product, and we definitely concluded that we want to take as much time as needed to get this product on the market in the right fit. What we thought of in the meantime is that we definitely can, while we are concentrating on Teddy mostly, we definitely can use that technology that we have developed for Teddy the Guardian, and maybe repurpose it, license it, or find clients that want to deploy that kind of technology, that want to integrate that kind of technology into some new products that they can offer to their own customers. That did lead us to finding 2 major Fortune 500 clients, and that did lead us to actually succeed in delivering a part of bits and pieces of Teddy to those clients, whether it's a hardware or it's a software. So this is where our revenue came from. This is where cash flow came from, and this is what we used to boost Teddy's development into the right way. So being creative, from my point of view, is take your product and see what you can do with it. You sell it, definitely, as you brand it, you make a name out of it, but maybe you can do something else. Maybe there is a broader demand for your product somewhere where you might not expect it. So go and try and see who, maybe from the B2B niche, who is your potential client, and be creative, make something new out of your product. And this is something that we definitely learned in the past year, and we succeeded in finding clients, in delivering that kind of solutions, and we are now moving forward and scaling bigger. And this is something that really keeps us going on a daily basis. And again, we have our Teddy the Guardian as a flagship product that is, or will, in its final version number 1 though, but final version, will see the light of the day after a lot of iterations, a lot of prototyping, a lot of certifications that we need to go through in order to put this on the market. We are very proud to say that we definitely are in the process of creating the Christmas event which will be a certain milestone for our company. And our teddies, the 50 to 100 of them will come in the hands of the children around the world, where we will definitely be able to see what the feedback is, how they feel about it, what can we do to make it better, and what can we do to appeal to a lot of children around the world. So this is a lot of interest has come from the consumer side. So parents, grandparents want to have teddy because it's something kids are familiar with. If you give a child a thermometer, there is a great chance that that child will not be very fond of using that. If you give a child a teddy bear that has a thermometer inside, a kind of it has a sensor that actually records the body temperature, there's a more likely chance for them to actually accept it. And this is what we want to do in general. We want to make this as human as possible, make this as close to kids as possible, make this something that it's not new for them. We don't need to educate them on how to use new product. You have a teddy, that's your teddy, that's something that you have at home. So just take it by the paw and you'll get, and you as a parent or a doctor will get all the results needed. So this is the philosophy that we have created around Teddy the Guardian and all of the other products that we are working on. So the fantastic thing about that is that we have a community of elderly people as well that are very keen on using Teddy the Guardian. Why? Because the concept or the philosophy is the same. Elderly people are not very willing to educate themselves, to create new habits, to create new types of action that is required for you to use new type of a product. But they want Teddy or any other, so Teddy is kind of the first animal that we decided to use. But the point is that we will develop or we will optimize that technology to the point where you can put it in your ordinary toy, in your favorite toy. So and each and every toy can become your guardian. And this is something we are working towards too, and we're going towards, and we will make it work very soon. And this is something that makes our entire philosophy definitely worth other months of development, because we see results even before Teddy the Guardian as a mass market product is out. We see the feedback, we hear the feedback, and we comply to all of that, because seeing children use Teddy the Guardian is something that's absolutely amazing. And even if we talk about the prototypes that we have created so far, and seeing that this really makes sense to them and to elderly people on the other side, is something that gives you that additional will to make this work. And when you include creativity inside of this entire process that mostly is not very creative, in the sense of you need to do what you need to do. And a lot of times there's no space for creativity here, but if you find it, then this is a whole lot easier for the entire team. And this is something that we are chasing, or we have been chasing for the past year or year and a half. And we are really looking forward to seeing the results of all of that. But it's really, there's a lot of challenges on the way, especially I'm always coming back to the hardware as something that really is hard. but it's challenging in the most positive way possible. And you need to go through a process of having the concept on the piece of paper to packaging and delivering your piece of a product. If you have a software, that it's a bit easier because it's not so capital intensive as hardware is. But if you have hardware, then you have no choice than to go through the entire process of having the concept on the piece of paper, having that in the 3D printed model, developing technology, multiplying that technology, developing the code for the electronics, for example, which is not software, it's completely new thing, but it's, you need to do that for technology, for the electronics to become alive. And then you need to put all of that together at a reasonable price, if that's possible. And you need to create a package for it and send it towards your consumer. All of that, it really does cost a lot of money, and it's hard when you do not have any backup, whether it's a VC fund or angel investor or a family member, it doesn't matter. It all helps. But what we try to do is to bootstrap as long as it gets, because it was really, we had a vision on how to really satisfy all of the criteria that we have internally. And we've come a long way, and we've developed our own little supply chain and all of that. If you're interested in hardware, and I've seen last year on the Creative Business Cup that there's a lot of people that are really interested in hardware. So we had some topics to discuss, which was absolutely amazing. And to see that all of those people think similarly is fantastic, because you know you are in the right community. Because all of those people have a bit more realistic approach towards what they are doing, because they know it's very challenging to set up all of the steps properly in order to execute successfully. And this is something that I'm really appreciating with Creative Business Cup, and I'm really supporting that perspective, that initiative, and people that are, there's 30 countries or 40 there, and a lot of them have really a piece of a product in their hands. And to be able to talk to those people, because we are not all in the same industries, but again, we have that connection that's always the same, and it's absolutely stable. And to be able to talk about, I mean, I'm a product person, so in the company generally, but I'm very fond of hardware. However, or how much, I mean, it doesn't matter how hard it is, but it definitely, it creates a new person in you. And this is why I really appreciate the few days that I had a chance to spend in Copenhagen, because no matter who wins or who doesn't, you create the entire experience with the rest of the participants, because you have a chance to talk about how to create a product that really helps somebody, that really solves a problem, that really has a purpose. And in hardware, there's a lot of those products. And now it's all about those fine things where you are not sure how to produce it, how much money you will need to make it a mass product, or how long will it take for you to come from the concept on the paper to the packaging and shipping. But there is a beauty in that process that really teaches you so much. And I tend to say, after Terre de Gardien, if I make a space shuttle, it will be less of a challenge, I'm sure. But if you are a young person, or if you're not, of course, but if you are 22, 3, 4, and you have a chance to go through that process, and no one teaches you how to do that, and no one helps you in the sense of no one knows your product better than you, then you need to go through that by yourself. I mean, by yourself and including the rest of the team. But it's absolutely amazing how big of an experience that can be. And now, if you can come to the events like CBC and share that and get a feedback on that and get people discuss it because they have been through that or they are going through that is absolutely valuable for the community in general, because we need to educate people what creative means. And if you are in hardware, then you need to be creative, and I'm absolutely sure about that. So it's something that that I would send as an overall message. And I would definitely say that adding that perception of creativity after coming back from Copenhagen last year helped to perceive things in a way that everything is or can be solved. Absolutely everything. It's just the way you solve it. It's just the way, it's your way to choose how you want to solve it, and then be creative here, because it makes life easier, definitely. So when we combine all of that together, this is something that I can see as a very tangible thing that I brought home from the Creative Business Cup. And that doesn't happen often, because to be able to bring something home back with you, you need to have people participating and judges at the end of the day who really ask amazing questions. You need to have that in order to have an actual opinion on your entire experience in that kind of an event. So I'm absolutely thankful for the opportunity to be part of the Creative Business Cup, and it's a very eye-opening experience if you come. So just you need to be open to each and every opportunity that comes along. And when you come to an event like Creative Business Cup, you need to be open towards what people might say about your product, what the feedback might be, what judges might ask, because this helps a lot. This helps you to perceive that in your own way, to apply the suggestions or advice or any kind of a feedback that you have received in the way that you think is appropriate. But if this requires you to be open enough and to be absolutely willing to receive any kind of a suggestion, even though those people might not be in your domain. But even if you have a hardware or a software, doesn't really matter. You just need to be very very ready for whatever or whichever feedback you might receive, because the fact that you have more than 30 countries in one room can be only beneficiary. And I cannot even say how really amazing it is to hear or to talk to 10 countries at one time, at one point, in one conversation, and to have a dialogue with 30 countries in 2 or 3 days. And each and every country has its own perspective, and each and every country has its own way of overcoming challenges. But that line of creativity and that line of being a startup and making something out of nothing, more or less, is always here. And you can always discuss it and talk about it and talk about your experience, because you will recognize one another. And the fact that you come from different countries is something that's that can only be a great benefit for everybody involved. So I wish to see even more countries in CBC this year or next year or 2 years ahead, because this is the most dynamic and positive 2 or 3 days that you can experience out of the office, of course. And when you are now working with within your ecosystem, go out, be open for suggestions, be open for discussions, and try to hear what kind of challenges and paths people from different countries that are trying to build a business are going through. And this is definitely one of the most valuable things that I brought home, and then trying to think about that in the most creative way possible. So this is something that I would like to use as a wrap up from my point of view, or from my side. So I would definitely encourage you to ask some questions if there are any, and I'll be willing definitely to answer all of them and to help with any kind of advice or suggestion you might think are valuable to each and every participant out here. So I'm not sure if we have any questions. So this is something, so before we say goodbye, just to make a one last point. I would definitely encourage all of the, especially students and young people that I know that are supported heavily by the Global Entrepreneurship Week, Kaufman Foundation in general, and Creative Business Cup, of course, to try and start their own business, because we like to call that a cure for unemployment these days, especially when you come from countries like Croatia, which definitely is facing a high rate of unemployment. Go and try and start your own business while you are still at the faculty, or when you're still a student, because it's the best internship that you can ever have. And be creative, because creativity is something that no one can steal from you. And if you know how to come up with a product that's creative and innovative, it doesn't matter if you fail 2, 3, 15 times. That two very, very important characteristics, being innovative, creative, which means altogether, if you wanted to succeed, not giving up and being very persistent to any kind of impulses negative from the outside. This is something that will definitely lead you to success one way or another, because that's something definitely no one can take away from you. So I will leave this thought with you. Thank you for hosting me here in the CBC webinar, and I wish you all the best in this year's Creative Business Cup, and hopefully we'll see you there in November. Thank you. Bye.